Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubrali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Driver of dump truck now facing charges in deadly Markham crash. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland to deliver fall economic statement on November 3rd. Gas prices set to surpass 1.80 per litre for first time since July. Here is where one analyst sees them going after that. The identities of these residents would be affected. Tory speaks out about proposed electoral boundary changes in Scarborough. Police release new details about stabbing of 78-year-old man at Whitby Hotel. U.S. Secretary of State continuing first Canadian visit in Montreal today. Former Ottawa Police Chief Peter Slowly testifies at Emergencies Act inquiry.
Those were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details.
Former Ottawa Police Chief Peter Slowly will testify today at the public inquiry into the federal government's use of the Emergencies Act to clear Freedom Convoy protesters. Slowly resigned the day after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the legislation would be triggered in February. He resigned his post amid widespread criticism of the force's handling of the protests, which clogged streets around Parliament Hill for 3 weeks as pressure mounted to remove the heavy trucks. A summary of an interview Slowly did with the inquiry body ahead of his upcoming testimony shows he felt the force couldn't have done anything differently. Slowly told the Public Order Emergency Commission he was faced with turmoil within police ranks, the Police Services Board, and City Council. The Commission has spent the past week hearing from other senior police members, including head of the Ontario Provincial Police, who says it was clear police in Ottawa were struggling with a plan to clear protesters. Police have released new details about a stabbing at the Whitby Hotel that left a 78-year-old victim with critical injuries. It happened at a Motel 6 on Consumers Drive at around 3 p.m. on Thursday. Police say that the suspect approached the victim and stabbed him before taking his personal property and fleeing. The victim was taken to a trauma center in life-threatening condition. The suspect, meanwhile, was arrested nearby by responding officers. At this point, it is not clear whether the victim and suspect were known to one another. Police continue to investigate. Dale Watt, 27 of Clarington, is facing 9 charges, including aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. The driver of a dump truck has been charged in connection with a collision that left 2 people dead in Markham 2 weeks ago. The incident occurred around 2 p.m. on October 12th in area of Markham Road and Nelson Street. According to investigators, a dump truck with a trailer collided with an Acura. There were 3 occupants inside the Acura. 2 of them, a 21-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman, were pronounced dead at the scene. The third occupant, a 52-year-old woman, was transported to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police said on Friday the woman is still in hospital in critical condition. The 46-year-old driver of the dump truck remained at the scene and did not sustain any physical injuries. Police said the man has since been charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death and 1 count of dangerous driving causing bodily harm. He has been identified by the police as Vaughan resident Anthony Valgary. Mayor John Tory is speaking out about proposed federal electoral boundary changes that would see parts of northwest Scarborough lumped in with existing North York ridings. The proposed changes are the result of federal review that takes place every 10 years based on new population figures. If adopted, a number of ridings across the city would be redrawn, but the controversial part of the plan would see the riding of Scarborough-Gincourt eliminated altogether and effectively absorbed into both Don Valley North and Don Valley East. That would in turn reduce the number of Scarborough MPs from the 6 to 5, even as the borough's population continues to grow. It would also mean that Scarborough residents as far east as Warden Avenue would be casting ballots in 2 North York ridings. The Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for Ontario is currently holding public hearings on the proposed changes and is expected to make a final decision on the matter by next September. In his letter, Tory acknowledged that ridings are being redrawn because areas outside of the city are growing at a faster rate than the city of Toronto, but he urged the Commission to use actual numbers rather than percentage growth, noting that Toronto's population has risen by 62,000 people over the last 5 years. The release of Tory's letter comes as the proposed changes to Scarborough electoral boundaries continue to come under fire. So far, nearly 2,000 people have signed a petition from the Scarborough Community Renewal Organization calling for the changes to be scrapped. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Montreal today as he continues his two-day trip to Canada. Blinken is to visit a battery recycling facility in East End, Montreal before heading to a public market. Later in the morning, he's scheduled to take questions from students at the Biosphere, an environmental museum located in the former US Expo 67 pavilion. In Ottawa on Thursday, Blinken met with Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly. The pair told reporters that discussions about a multilateral military intervention in Haiti are ongoing and remain a work in progress. The visit is Blinken's first to Canada since becoming Secretary of State. The average price of a liter of gasoline is set to reach a 3-month high on Saturday, but at least one industry analyst says that the recent pace of increases can't last forever. Gas prices across most of southern Ontario, including the GTA, rose 3 cents per liter overnight and are now set to go up another 4 cents at midnight. That will bring the average cost of a liter of regular to 180.9 cents per liter, which is the highest it has been since July 28. However, Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTeague tells CP24 that there could be some modest relief for drivers later this weekend. It has been a rather sudden and dramatic increase, about 20 cents per liter over the last 3 or 4 working days. But what I am sensing though is this may be a bit too quick and a bit too easily passed on increases in both oil and of course gasoline and diesel prices, he said. So I don't think this going to continue. 4 or 5 cents every single day, and on Sunday we might get a little break, maybe a 2 or 3 cents per liter drop. Gas prices surged earlier this summer amid concerns over the war in Ukraine and at one point topped $2 a liter for a period of time. They dropped as low as 143.9 cents per liter in September amid fears of a global recession, but have been climbing again in recent weeks. In addition to supply chain issues related to war in Ukraine, McTeague said that a weak Canadian dollar could put further pressure on gas prices domestically. A 6-cent reduction in the Ontario portion of the gas tax is also set to expire at the end of December.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.